welcome to the MyMoto channel and our Friday bumble, which is what I think we're going to call this vlog series we're doing. Today I thought I would come up here and start it up on the top of Snake Pass because Snake Pass is closed. And they're talking about this being closed permanently. At the moment, it's only shut for I think it's 2 weeks at the moment. But they are saying that the repair cost isn't sustainable. The council have to pay to repair. I think it's the council. Derbyshire County Council, I think it is, or something. Has to pay for the repair cost on this road. And they keep having trouble with it. But we're going to get into a bit more of that and what I think is going on there with the council and them saying that this could be shut in for good. It'd be a real shame. It really would. Okay. Now, just a few facts about this road first of all. So Snake Pass was built after an Act of Parliament. And they started building it in 1818, and it was actually financed by the Duke of Norfolk and the Duke of Devonshire, believe it or not. Back then, it cost them £18,625 to build this road. Now, there would have been probably a farm tracks and things like that there. There is farms up there and stuff that people would have had access to. So there probably was a road of some sort going in and out of this area. But they made it an actual road in 1818. So back then it cost in £18,625. That's the equivalent to £2 million today, which doesn't sound a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually spend more than that repairing it. We've got a tractor coming. So yeah, they're probably going to spend more than £2 million repairing this thing. Who knows? And with the way budgets are and living cost, council hasn't necessarily got the money to do it. So this road then finally opened to traffic in 1821, and it's been open on and off ever since. You know, it has closed quite a bit. I mean, even early 2000s when I used to come up this road on my TZR 250 back then, there was a piece just after the trees down there. There was a proper step mid corner. It was horrible. It was horrible. But anyway, so let's get on the bike, we'll get into work, and we'll talk a bit more about Snake Pass and its future. Look at Manchester over there. Beautiful. In the sun. That's where we're heading to, over to MyMoto. And believe it or not, from Snake Pass to the centre of Manchester is actually pretty quick. All I've got to do is drop down through Glossop onto the M67 and I'll be there before I know it. It's probably about, what? Probably about 20-25 minutes maybe from here. It's not far. Okay, so now the wind has calmed down a bit. So the reason I think there is the headline of Snake Pass closing for good is because I think the main reason is because the council, I don't think, has the money to repair it. And by getting it in the news, it could potentially encourage the government to put some funding forward to repair it. If you look at the way over the Pennines here, around this area, you can either go up over the 62, but it means going up round Manchester, jumping onto 62 and over, and you know, that road's not the best. Even, you know, like weather can close that motorway. Well, weather closes this one as well. So there's the 62, there's the Woodhead Pass, you've got Snake Pass, and then you have to really go down towards Buxton and you've got like Chesterfield Road. So they're the main routes over the Pennines really, through here. And if you shut, basically, I think if you shut Snake Pass, that traffic is then going to go to the Woodhead. Now Woodhead, that you put any more traffic on that, and that's going to be falling into the reservoir. That will, Joe, in the same way this is slipping. And I know they're having trouble with shoring this road up. It's never really been a great road. I would say, as biking roads go around this area, this will always play second fiddle to the second fiddle to the Cat and Fiddle, which was always known as the better road. But then when the speed cameras went on the Cat and Fiddle, this gained in popularity. That's got some really good bends, like these bends down here. The bottom two are actually some of the best. I love this left-hander down here. So yeah, it's played second fiddle to the Cat and Fiddle as the main biking road around this area, and other roads are now getting more attention, and there's been definitely a shift towards adventure bikes as well, rather than, you know, in the 90s when everyone was on sports bikes. There's been a shift towards adventure bikes. They like to go off and find random little back roads, so that suits them. These are the old days, like the old sports bike days of the 90s. That's what made the Cat and Fiddle and the Snake Pass what it was. But regardless of that, it's a good way of getting over towards Sheffield. You shut it, and it's I think it'd be a nightmare. It would be an absolute nightmare, and I think the only reason they've actually said what they've said is because they need the funding. They haven't got the funding to do it. There's already councils going bankrupt. I mean, if they're realistically talking about closing it, would they still be repairing it at this point? I don't know. Give these guys a wave. So these guys let me head up there. Something else that I wanted to mention. So I'm on the ZX7R. This is probably going to be its last run before winter. It's going to get a full tank of fuel put in it because these old bikes don't like the ethanol. So the last thing you want is a bit of fuel and a load of oxygen trapped in your tank. That's what causes the corrosion. If I fill the tank up, it'll help stop the corrosion getting through. So this is going to get parked up, and I have got so my Yamaha Diversion's kind of like my winter bike, and you can pick them things up so cheap. 600 Diversion, you can get them for like 800 quid, I think it is, for a used one. In fact, on Freddie Dobbs, Tuesday with Dobbs or whatever it's called, he was talking about them on there, more than 900. But yeah, he was talking about how good it is. So now there's a lot of people who are fair weather riders, park the bikes up through the winter, and it is, Joe, if I had like an immaculate Panigale or something like that, I would park it up in the winter. I'd want to keep it nice. But you don't have to be a fair weather rider. You can pick up a cheap bike and run it through the winter so easily. And you'd say, Joe, you might think, oh, what's the point? It's not as good as your other bike and this, that and the other, but you know, you can actually have so much fun riding through the winter. You've just got to have the kit, as long as you don't get cold. So yeah, I would say it's well worth getting a cheap bike and running it through the winter. Buy some kit, keep riding. But if you are storing your bike, what do you do? Like I said, I fill the tank up on this, I brim it, chain it down to a floor anchor, just because it's peace of mind. You know, it's locked up properly. It's in a garage anyway, but I still lock it to a floor anchor, ground anchor. With this bike particularly, I don't really do too much. I'll wash it before it goes in, make sure it's dry. So I'll put a soft cover over it. But with some of the classic bikes, I haven't done it yet, but I need to coat them. I need to put some like protective coating on them to stop the damp from the garage getting to them. And we're talking old bikes here now, 1930s and stuff like that. The other thing I do is I'll often put a trickle charger on, but I don't leave it on permanently. It's good that you can put them on and just walk away, leave them for a few days, not have to worry. But I do like to kind of give the battery the break. I have heard people have said, you know, it's not best to just leave them on a trickle charger forever. It doesn't actually do the battery that much good. But let us know what you think. How do you store your bikes through the winter? Are they in a garage? Do you put a cover on them? Do you lock them up? Now, we had on the last episode of this, we had my boss Phil join me on a ride. Didn't quite go to plan initially because we couldn't get the pack torque to mesh with his. So he had the Cardo inside and the AGV Tour modular, and for some reason, after his trip to Pico's, it wouldn't. Mine and his wouldn't talk to each other. We had to go to work, delete all the different saved groups and profiles, and almost like start from fresh on a new group. And I mean, the main thing was we were on a tight time scale and we just didn't have time to do it. It probably would have worked, but it would be nice to have maybe some more guests. So if there's anyone out there who does a bit of YouTube, could ideally do with like an intercom, like a Cardo that we can mesh with, and we'll try and get you on the Friday vlog. Have some guests. Could be like that Stars in Cars type show where they go for coffee. That would be good. There's been a lot of people talking about completely motorbikes going into receivership, and it's caused a bit of like a stir. It's caused a bit of panic. People saying like, oh, the motorbike industry's struggling at the moment and this, that and the other, and you know, it's going to have its ups and downs a little bit from time to time depending on the economy and stuff like that. But these big companies like Completely Motorbikes, like what Carnell's was, City Motorcycles, these big companies, it doesn't take much of a turn for some of these to get into trouble. It's not necessarily a reflection of how the whole industry is. I know for us with MyMoto, thanks to our community and our loyal customers, we're doing all right. We're doing okay. So, you know, that is the business model that we're based around, is the community and the loyal customer, and looking after our customers. We love having obviously new people come into the shop who we've never met before, but equally we love customers who come in and we know them and they keep coming back, even if it's just for a bit of advice or a chat, or, you know, like Phil said in the last video, we're all bikers, we all love a good chat. So we've also had a bit of a move around in our Manchester shop, and we've got a new boot stand, so all the boots are now together, which I'll show you when we get there. And we've got all the Risha. We've got a really good selection of Risha now, which has grown due to the popularity coming from the customers. Like we say, customer led on a lot of things, and when they like something and they tell us it works and they tell us it's good, we get it in. Something else I'd like in the comments. So if you're watching this and you're thinking of commuting on a bike and you're wondering about a particular bike, so you're thinking, oh, you know, I could get a Suzuki SV650 just to do my commute on, or something like that, then let us know what you're thinking of thinking of getting for your commute, and if we can get hold of one, especially if it would be brilliant if we could get hold of a bike and have it on not long term but semi long term test. We'll do this commute on something that would be ideal for commuting on. This thing is not ideal for commuting. It's a little bit rough. It's a little bit jerky. It's not made for this kind of stuff. But I know there's a lot of people out there as well who commute on very impractical bikes. So again, leave it in the comments. Have you commuted to work on something like, well, like we have a guy who commutes to work on a Panigale. Oh, it's beautiful as well. When he comes past the shop, it is stunning. He always gives us a wave, and you always think, what a legend, commuting on a bike like that to work. And when I chatted to him, I said, why are you using a bike like this, like a Ducati, to commute to and from work? And he said, I use my bikes for my transport. I've always wanted a Ducati. And I just thought, he said, just thought, why not? You know, how bad can it be? If it's terrible, he can sell it and get something else. But he said it makes every ride into work a pleasure. So if you're trying to find the shop, easiest thing to do is find where the Carling Apollo is, back there on that roundabout, or the Tesco petrol station. Head up the A6 towards Piccadilly, and just after this student accommodation on the left, you'll see us tucked in here. And look at this. Look at these guys. We've got Jan in on the big boy, Phil on the GS. Nice. Right, into work we go. We've got Jan's in. She's not looking at us today. Phil, morning. Si. So this is all the Risha kit that I was telling you about. So we've got this now is all Risha. And like I say, the reason for that is because we've had such a good response from customers who bought it. Said how good it is. It's not let them down. Tried and tested. So we've expanded on the Risha range. Loads and loads of Gore-Tex in Risha as well. There's a lot of people out there who love the Gore-Tex stuff for any kind of winter riding. We've got your thermals, we've got loads of RST thermals in. And then waterproofs, full waterproof section. So RST, we've got the Scott, which I talked about last time. And then this is our new boot display. So we've got a load of RST on this side. Day and Easy TCX. It's looking really smart. So, look at all them boots. Okay, so like I was saying earlier in the video about storing your bike over the winter, what we've got in the shop, so we have some trickle chargers which you can use to help keep your battery topped up while it's stored. Bike covers, especially if it's outside, make sure it's covered. And that works towards security as well. You keep eyes off your bike, it helps keep it secure. We've also got all our ground anchors over here. So we've got some ground anchors, plenty of chains and things, so you can keep it safe. So yeah, if you're thinking of storing your bike, we've got a few bits for you to have a look at. Pop down to the shop. In the meantime, if you enjoy these videos, the vlogs, then please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave us a comment, let us know what you want to see in the future, what you enjoyed, things like that. And then, in the meantime, ride safe.